Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Christina and it is October 2025 and I have been seeing all kinds of videos talking about the great lock-in of 2025. This is going to be the last 90 days of the year and we're all supposed to be, working hard to get our goals done. And I am no exception to this. I definitely need to lock in. So let's talk a little bit about what my goals are and how I'm going to try and do October and really for the rest of the year. But for now, this video is just going to focus on October mostly. But before that, let's have a little book haul because your girl found something special when she went to the flea market last weekend. So first off, I'm still reading The Fraud by Zadie Smith, and I really like it a lot. But I'm only maybe like 50 pages in, so we're still working on it. But I want to show my bookmark that I got. Ooh, let me not drop the book. I'll show the bookmark that I got. So pretty. Let's see if the glare, I cannot get the glare. There you go. So pretty. And it was like $2 at this flea market. So very happy with my purchase, but that's not the special thing. That's just a little bonus extra because I was really there looking for Christmas presents, which I did get, but I'm obviously not going to show them because there are a few family members that watch my channel and I don't want to give away their Christmas presents. But I did get this beautiful box set of the 3-Body Problem. Here, let me see if I can. There you go. I was probably backwards in the camera, but yes, I have read the first one and I started the second one, but I could not find a third one. I had found both of these two in the used bookstore, but I kept looking for Death's End and I couldn't find it anywhere. So when we were at the flea market, I saw that there was this cart of used books that was for sale. And I was like, how much is this collection? And the lady went, $3. And I said, okay. So now I have a whole box set of the 3-Body Problem. I did see the TV show when it came out last year, really liked it, although it is very different from the books. Not necessarily in terms of the subject matter and some of the actions that unfold, but like there are characters that were not in the book so far. I mean, maybe they show up in the second book, but the first book didn't really have some of these characters that are in the TV show. But that's okay. I am someone who is okay with adaptations that don't religiously follow what happens in the books, as long as the TV show makes sense and still has the spirit of the story. I'm okay with it because I feel like books and TV shows are two separate storytelling genres, and some things in books just can't be translated into television. And I really don't know why some people want it to be exactly the same. I am all for things being different. I've read the Foundation books. I like the Foundation TV show. I read the Game of Thrones series. I watched the Game of Thrones TV show. And even Fire and Blood, the book Fire and Blood, and now it's House of the Dragon. There's some stuff that just can't be in television, and some things that television does better. So, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this rant. Just, I enjoy both venues, and they don't have to be exactly the same. For me, at least, they don't have to be exactly the same. I'm okay with them taking liberties and trying new things on the TV show. Sometimes it's better than the book, But I guess it's just a matter of taste. So anyways, let's talk about October and the Great Lock-In. I have not made as much progress as I want with my novel. And I do want to have a maybe not publishable draft, but I do want to have a draft that I feel comfortable querying. I am not there yet. I finished the first draft in March. I let it sit for 3 months. I wrote some other stuff and really I revised some other stuff is really what I did. And so right around mid to late June, I started revising. I was pretty good in July for revising, but then I kind of fell off in August because I found out that one of the literary journals that I really like, excuse me, literary journal that I really like is open for submission. So I wrote an essay and my plan was to submit said essay in September and get back to the novel. Well, they did not open in September. They are opening October 1st. So my plan now is to submit that essay in October. It's open from October 1st to the 31st. And at first I thought I would submit it just right on the first day. But now I'm thinking I might want to sit with it maybe a week and submit a week from then. And I actually think that's what I'm going to do because right now I like the essay. I've, shown it to a few people. I've had it critiqued. I've made some changes, some big changes, but still it's a good essay. But every time I look at it, I feel like it's not quite there. And usually when I don't feel that confident, that means that I need to sit with it a little bit longer. And I don't want to submit it at the last minute on like the 30th or the 31st. So I'm giving myself kind of like 10 days and then it's going to be submitted. But in the meantime, while that's cooking and I'm dabbling in it and tinkering with it, I also need to pay attention to this novel. Now, I pretty much have not looked at it since early August and I need to get back to it. So my plan is that for the next 3 months, I want to add another 30,000 words. So that means this month my goal is to add 10,000 words to my novel. Can I do it? Yeah, I think I can do it. Some of the revisions that I did back in July, I wrote down on a piece of paper, but I didn't actually implement them. Plus, I am adding 2 extra chapters to this story. So that means that I have 20 chapters in this novel. And if I can get through 6 or 7 of them this month, add an extra 10,000 words, I think that we will be in good on a good track. And then I'll have to do another 6 to 7 chapters in November and another 6 to 7 chapters in December and add another 10,000 words in each month. And I think that's possible. I actually think I can really do that, especially if I really take my time with each chapter and work them through. And also, since I've kind of gotten through the first 5 chapters, I might get ahead this month. And, if I can get to like, say, chapter 10 or 11 or 12 by the end of this month, which sounds really big, but again, I've already looked at the first 5. So I really just have to sit down and start revising those chapters. I think it's doable, but it does mean that like everything else that I have kind of cooking in the background is going to have to wait. That's not too bad. The only thing that really like takes my time is honestly this channel and my newsletter. But I can kind of dash out 400 to 500 words on a newsletter twice a month. It's not that difficult for me. This channel though, sometimes it does take me some time to find the time to film, find the time to edit. I do minimal editing because I would rather be writing. But at the same time, like I want to make sure that these videos are at least, somewhat entertaining. I keep fidgeting in my chair. But but I don't want to like completely stop filming. So I just kind of have to plan better and get better at making sure I carve out time to film these videos and get this writing done. But yeah, that's my goal for October. I want to get 10,000 words and I want to get through about 7 chapters. If I can do that, I will feel good going into November. Other great lock-in things that I want to do is probably the reading. I think the fraud is number 14, I think. So it's been a little slow this year. Again, still reading more than last year. Last year, I think I read 4 books, maybe 5. So to hit more than double that, almost triple, is pretty darn good. And I am not mad at it. I'm a little jealous of people that can read like 2 books a week. I can't do that. I just don't have the time. It's sort of frustrating that sometimes I have to choose between reading and writing. Sometimes I have to choose between getting, my work done when I'd rather sit and finish the book. But on the other hand, if I wanted to just spend all my time reading, I could. Nobody's forcing me to write. I could take a year off and just read books, but I don't want to do that. So right now at this time, I have to make the novel the priority, not reading. And if it means I read 15 books this year, then I read 15 books this year. I'm okay with that. Considering it was more than last year, I feel like that's progress. And I have to stop comparing myself to other people that maybe aren't writers, but they're really big readers, or they are writers and they do that full time. So they have a full 8-hour workday to write, and then they can spend their weekends and their evenings reading. It's just sort of a compromise that you have to make as a writer, is when to read and when to write. I remember somebody said once that while she was writing her book, she didn't read any fiction at all. She only read nonfiction because she was worried that the voice of the other books that she was reading would influence the book that she was writing. And I never really thought about that. I never really have had that problem. But maybe I do it unconsciously. So I'm not aware of it, but maybe there is some influences that happen. Mostly, though, for me, I like reading, number one, as a writer, to see how writers are doing what they're doing, like how they build tension, how they do character, how they do descriptions, how they do exposition. And also, I'm just a really big fan of stories. Some stories are like genuinely interesting to me, and I want to know like what's going to happen next and how this story evolves. So, I'm scaling back on the reading, upping the writing, and hoping that by December 31st, I have gotten through this novel that I'm writing, and then I'm adding an extra 30,000 words. I'd essentially be doubling the word count of what the book is now, which is fine with me. I know I do have a little hesitation that it's still going to be only like 60,000 words. But on the other hand, I have seen that there are some shorter books coming out. And so that gives me hope that my book doesn't need to be a honking 100,000 word novel, that it doesn't need it. But we'll see. We'll see where I finally land. Who knows? This book might land on 80,000 words by the time I'm done. And then, I won't need to complain. But for now, I am just going to focus on making this draft the best that it can be. And in 2026, we'll see where we're at. And hopefully it's good enough that I will feel comfortable sharing it with people and sending it out to agents, sending it out to my beta readers, all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really talked about what the book is about. I may have given little hints here and there, but it's basically a family drama. It's about a couple who fled their controlling families, and they are brought back in to said families because my main female character is very sick, and the main male character's father says that he will cure her sickness if he tracks down a wayward family member. So that's basically the gist of the story. It's literary fiction with a tinge of science fiction. It's got family drama. It's got sibling rivalry. It's got a little bit of romance, but not a lot. And yeah, I'm just having fun writing it. And onward. I don't know if the next video I'm going to film myself writing. I always think that's kind of weird. I'm not confident enough to film myself writing, but definitely I can see there being at least one writing vlog showing up. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.